Hey everyone, it's Reem. So today I decided to make a video all about how to survive when you have a really horrible teacher. And it's inevitable. It's going to happen. I mean, at one point in your academic life or your career, you're going to run into people that you might not get along with. They might not like you. You might not like them. It might be a mutual kind of thing. My senior year of high school, which was this year, I had a really horrible math teacher. It was calculus. It's an important class to me, especially since I want to go into something in the sciences and math for undergrad. And so it was an important class for me, very good base that I needed to establish in math. And my teacher wasn't all that. She was old. I feel like she should have retired.
And I had worked really hard to maintain a good GPA, and I wasn't about to let a teacher that didn't care about seniors and thought that we were all on senior break in January. I was not about to let a teacher with an attitude like that destroy my grade. So here are 5 tips that I came up with to kind of help me get through the year and come out with a good grade.
Okay, so my first tip is to maintain a good attitude. Attitude is key. If you go into the class and you're positive and on a good note, I guess, you will do better. It will reflect on your potential and it will reflect on your work ethic. I quickly realized that if I went into the class every day dreading it and, looking at the clock every second, waiting for that hour and 20 minutes to be over, I would not learn anything. I wouldn't get anything out of it. And even if my teacher wasn't doing a good job lecturing, going into the class with a positive attitude
made me feel more motivated, to sit down, look at my textbook, and actually read it and just block out everyone else, block out all the hooligans that were in my class, and just focus on learning the material. So yeah, attitude is key.
And speaking of attitude, it kind of leads into my second tip, which is to stay motivated. And this is very correlated with attitude. However, it's a little bit different because to stay motivated, I kind of did some different things. It wasn't only a mental thing. It was also me having to bring with me snacks and cold beverages to class so that I would stay awake and feeling refreshed. Kind of helped with not feeling miserable and kind of helped me with focusing. So I would bring with me some iced tea, some almonds, something like that. My teacher allowed us to eat in class, which if that's not the case for you, if they allow you to listen to music, she didn't let us listen to music or use our phones, but if that was the case for you, you could bring your iPod with you and listen to some motivational music while you're given homework time. But if you can, just bring some ice cold water with you to class just to keep you awake and attentive. Okay, and my third piece of advice is to seek outside resources if you have to. You can always just go online, and there's a bunch of resources out there. On YouTube, you can look up whatever you need. There's a bunch of helpful videos where, online tutors might post. Also, there's Khan Academy. There's also Khan Academy. Khan Academy is something I've used for years. It's very helpful. I've used it for AP Bio. I've used it for chemistry. There's so much. I've even used it for anatomy class to learn about the nephron. So yeah, there's a lot of helpful videos out there. Also, there is a lot of websites that you can use, for me, math, if I wanted to check my homework. There's online calculators and stuff like that for finding derivatives and sums and all of that. Another thing is if you can afford it, try finding a tutor. I know tutoring can be pretty expensive, so what I did was I asked one of my close friends who happened to be in AP Calc if she could help me out. And that was definitely a big help because just to have someone else explain things to me Especially, actually, it was like a
First time kind of thing too, because my teacher never really explained things well at all. So it was definitely helpful having someone teach it to me that was well off in that subject area.
And speaking of tutoring, do not be embarrassed to ask for someone's help. The only way you're going to learn it is if you're taught it well and you understand it well, and that's not going to happen overnight. You need to be comfortable with asking for assistance. And once you got it down and you're good to go. But if you just keep letting things pile on top of each other, things that you don't understand, it will be a mess when it comes time for the chapter test or the final exam, and you don't want that. So go and ask for help when you need. Also, my friend gave me a copy of her AP Calc notes, which were very comprehensive. Her calc notes were very easy to comprehend compared to our calc notes. So definitely, like, if you can borrow some notes from a friend, like in a different class, or go online, find notes, or you can always buy like an AP book for that class if you're in high school and taking AP classes. Or there's books everywhere, honestly, for different subjects. So whether or not you're in high school, you can find something. My fourth piece of advice is literally to do what you gotta do to succeed.
You have just activated your sympathetic system and you're in fight or flight mode. You gotta fight it out.
It is so easy to just want to throw everything up in the air and just be
like, I'm done, I can't do this, I blame the teacher's horrible.
When really, like, when you have a bad teacher, think of it as like a challenge. Do what it takes to succeed. Be one of the people that come out of the class having survived and not having let it destroy your GPA. You want to leave the class thinking, you know what, I had a sucky teacher, I had a horrible teacher, but I survived and I did well. And you can do it. And then my last piece of advice is pertaining to looking over old tests and worksheets that the teacher might pass back. So in my case, this was kind of difficult to do, but it was definitely worth it.
My teacher was very weird about passing back tests. I think she always reused them, that's why. And she would make us like come and stand in front of the room to look at our tests and like look over it, and she'd be standing right next to you kind of thing. So you couldn't really go back to your desk and like try to work out a problem over again. That wasn't an option.
So that sucked. However, I still like put in the effort to look over the test. Every teacher has a different way of testing, and once you figure out that teacher's way of testing and like their format and like the level of difficulty, I guess, you will be better prepared for studying and like studying the right material. Because the worst thing you can do is study the wrong material, spend a lot of time doing that, and then bomb the test. If you don't get that down, especially once you get into like harder classes and college classes where the tests are most of the grade, you will be in trouble. Okay, so that's all I have for today. I really hope that my advice helps you guys out whenever you have like a difficult teacher or maybe just in life. Stay motivated, have a positive attitude, seek outside help, seek outside resources basically, and keep going. Like, even when it's rough, just go. You can do it.
And then once you're done and you got the grade you wanted, you can party.